Welcome everyone to Black Ice for Hearts of Iron 4. We'll be playing as Germany in this run. We'll be playing on Veteran difficulty, and I will turn up the difficulty of all of my potential enemies, such as the Soviet Union, United Kingdom, France, USA, and I believe, I'll leave China as it is, because I want to see how it goes over here in Asia. I'll turn it all up to maximum because I want the challenge, and I'll keep historical AI focuses on just to have the AI be as good as it possibly could be without it making any mistakes. And I will show you around Black Ice. I'm coming back to it because it got a few updates, and so I want to show you both what they updated and in general how the mod is right now. I still think it's got some problems, but in general, I think it's much more playable. Now, it's still got the problem of this. I'll fix this later, and I'll show you once it's actually completely filled up with production. And I'll also fill up the research, and I'll skip the filling because it will take forever. And so I'll just show you a couple things right now. I'll just start the game out, and I'll show you this. This is the factories that we have, and these are essentially going to be giving us bonuses towards producing certain types of equipment based on the amount of tank factories, U-boat yards, heavy aircraft factories, light aircraft factories, shipyards, ammo factories or ammunition factories, and artillery factories and uniform factories, and also truck factories, small arms, truck deal. I'll explain that later. This I'll explain later, and yeah. So that which you just saw is given by these, and we'll be making these later. I'll show you the production screen. So enough. Now, this is a new feature that essentially allows you to skip some national focuses, and the price that you pay for it is the fact that you essentially get only half of the bonus for something. So for example, Wehrmacht focus, if we took this one, we would get the 25% research bonus for land doctrines instead of 2 of them, and then we wouldn't get the leader that we would get, the chief of army. But I won't grab that because I want to get as much bonuses as possible early on. Green Army Command, that is given to us by our HQ equipment count, which of course right now, since the game just started, is at 0. So it is a Green Army Command. And then these couple of events, they don't seem to do anything. So I'll just let them skip. And I'll just wait a little bit and go and do all of my stuff. Just fill out the national focus, fill out the research. National focus, I believe I'll take this one. Yeah, the 4-year plan. And so I'll also fill up the construction, and I'll show it to you later because it does take quite a while to actually set up things in Black Ice. So I'll see you then. Okay, there we are. I have set everything up. Got a lot of different aircraft researching, fighters. This one is a light bomber, or actually a tactical bomber. This one is a close air support. Electronic mechanical engineering to help research time in general. Concentrated industry, sniper teams, delay, Panzer 2C to improve my light tanks, and then I've got all the resources getting delivered, hopefully. Yeah, right. And then my production, I've got everything set up, and I've gone through the very tedious process of assigning all the ships to actually automatically go to the fleet once they are complete. And so I have everything under control, at least for now, somehow. The armies are already set up. Just to show it to you, I've got my garrisons in the north just defending the coastline. Manstein in the west facing the Netherlands and Belgium. And the garrisons, I've also got a order to go in and garrison the forts in the west wall. And there's more insufficient resources that we're going to deal with later. Guderian in the east has the order to go into Poland, as does Schörner from the eastern Prussian part of our realm. And then I've got a few divisions facing Czechoslovakia, just in case we're ever going to need those with a plan. And then I've got more oil and chromium to take care of. Tanganyika is a expansion little tiny mod for Black Ice that I installed. It's essentially a few events about the colonization of Africa and stuff like that. And this is just going to add some resources to Tanzania, or Tanganyika as it is renamed. Preparation for the Winter Olympic Games of 1936. We must finish the preparations for the 1936 Winter Olympics at the Garmisch-Partenkirchen in Bavaria, Germany. Ready? So, looks like we're hosting the Olympics, even in the winter. Oh yeah, right, because they used to be in the same year. I forgot about that. Right now, the only war that's happening is the war between Italy and Ethiopia. Not very important, not very interesting. Unless you're from Ethiopia, in that case, well, then that would be pretty interesting to you. And it still says that we're missing equipment production. That is because our Air Force is getting reorganized, and some of... where the fuck is the airfield? Right. Also, here is our Lebensraum. Okay. This is just an event about the colonies. Here's the Winter Olympic Games. You can read that. I'm just going to only read the more important events. Order Aufstellungswelle. These are mobilization waves. Basically, these are going to spawn us some divisions already trained and equipped. Well, not entirely equipped. Only equipped about a third the way through. But they're all trained up to regular. So that's actually very handy because it spawns divisions for you. And so, yeah, we're going to take those as much as we can. Black Ice does seem to like having different, how should I say it, event spawn units take over. If we go to our, hold on, let me just finish dividing up the Air Force into optimal groups. If we go to our national focus tree, yeah, we're going to go to our national focus tree because we already finished the first national focus, the 4-year plan. Adolf Hitler has initiated his new economic plan. Hermann Göring has been put in charge of this plan, receiving the title of Reich Plenipotentiary. His jurisdiction is far and wide, allowing him to make decisions that normally would have to be made by the Ministry of Economics, Agriculture, or Defense. He, without any doubt, will use this to expand his control over the Luftwaffe. So we can either say that Göring gains control of the economy and we get Göring as an advisor, giving us a lot of bonuses that we like, tons of them, in fact. Or we could say Rudolf Hess gains control of the economy. Rudolf Hess would only give us some political power, so we're going to give Göring the control of the economy. What this is going to allow us to do is take the chemical synthesis, autarky, and 1946 industrial effort, which are going to give us a lot of oil, rubber, and steel in our provinces. That is the reason why I went for this first. On the other side, there is the SS tree, which for some reason takes 0 days to complete, so we're just going to do that. I really don't know why it takes 0 days to complete, but we're just going to oblige and actually do it. And if we go to our laws and government, we can see that Göring is our industrial planner now, so pretty unique national advisor. And now we get another event. Himmler, yay, a dick. Is this evil incarnate? Yeah, probably. Or we could say, let's avoid all this. And we gain the National Spirit buff and SS, which grants us political power gain, more recruitable population, and less or more division training time. So yeah, now we have the SS. And we get the Leibstandarte SS Adolf Hitler, which was the Guard Corps of Hitler. So we're going to form the LSSAH, and that's going to give us a division. As you can see, it's a SS regiment, so SS infantry. As you may know, this tiny little SS regiment or guard eventually will become a huge panzer division, and I believe that development is actually kind of represented by the fact that there is later on things like this focus, which is going to give you different events to improve your divisions. The only other country I believe that gets these are the Soviets with the Tank Corps. Tank Corps were pretty useful when playing as the Soviet Union, but other than that, not really much. We could take the Rhineland, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to take the Historical SS because, again, it takes 0 days, so we're just going to do that. SS Historical Setup. The Schutzstaffel was a major paramilitary organization under Adolf Hitler and the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or NSDAP, in Germany. It began with a small guard unit known as the Saalschutz, hall protection, made up of NSDAP volunteers to provide security for party meetings in Munich. From 1929 until the regime's collapse in 1945, the SS was the foremost agency of surveillance and terror within Germany and German-occupied Europe. In 1933, November, the name was changed to Leibstandarte Adolf Hitler. In 1934, Himmler modified the name to Leibstandarte SS, blah 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 blah, we don't give a shit. Form Deutschland, Germania SS, blah 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 blah. Bunch of German words I don't care about. So we're just gonna not care. We can take the Totenkopfverbände, and the Verfügungstruppe is gonna be in 1937. So let's take the Totenkopfverbände. These seem to be mostly about giving you information about the SS. The Totenkopf, obviously, the one that will become the SS division, Totenkopf, SS Panzer division. And we apparently create some units. They seem to be garrisons. And yeah, they're not going to be that useful yet. We're just going to give them to Rundstedt, who, as you can see by his nose, is a bit of an aristocrat, so he does not like the smelly thugs that are the SS. And so he's going to be very happy that we gave him these men at his command. So, yeah. And then we're going to go for chemical synthesis, which is going to give us some research bonuses for oil plants and the likes. And then after that, we're going to get the autarky and the 1946 industrial effort. And then move on over to land doctrines, the Wehrmacht focuses. So far, the Leibstandarte SS is going to stay with its own little group because it's only a regiment. Not really that useful so far. I believe the only difference between SS infantry and normal infantry is the maybe the morale or the recovery. Let's see, normal infantry compared to SS infantry. It doesn't appear like it's actually giving me the difference, which is annoying. It used to actually do a comparison. Or maybe... Okay, yeah, actually. That is a comparison. So, okay. Sorry for that. Sometimes I just have these moments of stupidity. So normal infantry has more defense, more breakthrough, and more soft attack, but less suppression, less organization, less HP, less build cost, which is obviously good, less manpower required, which obviously goes into the build cost along with less infantry equipment and uniforms. And also the normal infantry has less attack in cities. So it's pretty similar, nothing too strange, and somebody's not giving their due. Venezuela, not giving their oil, eh? Well, those South Americans, they're never reliable, are they? So we're just gonna buy more from Iran, and we're also gonna get someone who have influence, like Argentina. Speaking of South Americans, obviously. And then infantry equipment. We have received a small shipment of infantry equipment from the German Reich. Oh, no, right. We can send the infantry equipment. So, this is a mechanic that they added called, like, arms deals or arms shipments. Now, sending this infantry equipment to China is obviously going to take it away from our stockpile. But since we've got quite a decent stockpile of infantry equipment, that's fine. What that is going to do is it's going to give us more political power gain at the expense of factory output. But as you can see... Oh, no, that's just trained army command. We're also going to receive shipments of this stuff from abroad. I'm not really sure how much plus 1% is going to do to actually help. But minus 2% factory output definitely is going to hurt us a little bit. So we're not going to do that. And as you can see, we gained the national arms shipment modifications or negotiations, which means that in the 7th of May, we're going to get another event of this kind. It's a pretty cool system, however, I feel like there's really no reason to actually give arms shipments to people. If it gave you relationships with other countries, then that would be quite good. But unfortunately, I don't think it does. I did not actually check, so I might be wrong on this. Ooh, anti-communist construction, interesting. So yeah, ordering a bunch of infantry divisions. That is the mobilization waves event in action. So as you can see, we're gonna create those, and I guess we also got some other SS divisions in the meantime, which is fine. So it created these 4 infantry divisions. As you can see, they are quite low on equipment, but they are regular. And if we go to their fighting strength, we can see that their manpower is at 100%. So that means that they are all trained. All these guys have gone through their basic training, etc., etc. And once we have our actual equipment produced, they're gonna be fully reinforced and not have a problem. So these events are actually very nice in helping you bring up your army. I'm not really sure why they're there, but I guess it's to give historical flavor, which is fine. And here are SS. We have gone, looks like a motorized. Yeah, motorized infantry and motorized artillery, which is actually very nice. Because right now we lack trucks. So having this motorized group is going to be very helpful. We got the SSVT Standarte and the Germania and the Deutschland, 2 regiments. So for now, we're just gonna leave them here, and then we're gonna redistribute them as they as we have crisis happening around our country where they're needed. So we're gonna take mechanical computing, and which 2 did we gain? I did not exactly look at that. Hold on. One of them was an airplane, which means that we don't have to research anything else there because we're already quite well learned in terms of aircraft compared to what we can do. We're going to take the carrier one because we want carriers eventually. And speaking of carriers, chromium. We're going to need chromium for those too. And we gain, yeah, as you can see, we gain infantry equipment from Japan. So this arms shipment is going to give us more factory output and less political power gain. I don't really care about the political power gain again. 1.39 because the arms shipment is decreasing it by -1, which is not a lot in terms of percentage. And let's see if that changed our relationship with Japan at all. Trade partners, increase in opinion plus 50%. Oh, that might be from the arms shipment. And we have received a shipment from Hungary too. But here we didn't get anything. So, no, clearly that is just because Japan is improving relationship, or because that's just there from the game. Like, the game is just programmed at the beginning so that Germany and Japan have a relationship boost. Okay, so that's pretty fine. I like the system. I think it adds to the game, but again, I just think it should have a little bit more impact. Now, we have enough political power for an advisor. We are going to take Rudolf Hess, because he's going to give us plus 35% political power gain. Now, obviously, eventually he's going to go fly into England and die. If you look, there was a thing that said he has not taken his last flight or whatever, and that's obviously because at one point he's going to decide to fly over to try and make peace with England, and he's going to get captured and die, and crash land, etc., etc. So, yeah, he's gonna die. Spoiler alert, I guess. And we no longer get that effect, so that means that we're gonna get, soon enough, an event for that arms shipment. Which we're probably gonna refuse. That's a victory point. Oh, Braunschweig is a victory point. Okay. Right now, I also want to put into recruitment some Grenzwacht. I'm going to take the Grenzwacht art. Yeah, okay, so we could send artillery to Hungary, but who gives? I mean, obviously, it's going to send the equipment to Hungary, which eventually might come in handy because Hungary is going to be our ally. But unfortunately, artillery, we still didn't have a lot of that because 250 and 500 units is a little bit too much. We only have 100 in stockpile, so we're going to go no deal. No can do for now. Sorry, buddy. Horty, he's going to have to wait. And yeah, I wanted to say that I'm going to go for the Grenzwacht artillery because they have the artillery and the Medium Artillery Company instead of just the normal Grenzwacht, which only has the military police and just garrisons. Which means that it's going to be lighter on the manpower, and it's also going to be more effective at defending because of the extra stiffening that it gets from the artillery. We got the chemical synthesis. We were able to produce oil in our labs. I'm not sure if that's how chemical synthesis works, but I guess it's fine. We're going to take autarky, which in real life is a really bad idea. In this game, it's a really good idea because we're going to get the rubber in Hanover. Rubber obviously being very, very useful if you want to produce, well, anything. And the crash of General Weber. Disaster nearly struck when the aircraft of General Walter Weber, Chief of Staff of the Luftwaffe, crashed earlier today, injuring both Weber and his engineer. One of the German proponents of strategic bombers, Weber has been discussing plans for a long-range bomber program with several aircraft manufacturers as part of his Ural bomber program. Weber has asked Albert Kesselring to take his place until he has recovered from his wounds. A narrow escape. Well, I'm guessing the Ural bomber is supposed to reach the Ural Mountains from the border of Poland, maybe? I don't know. So we have the VF-109AB, which is only a prototype, I'm guessing, which is the reason why we don't get any aircraft that we can actually research from that. So we're going to take the Bayerische Flugzeugwerke 109C, which actually has a plane that you can research. Obviously very useful. Sniper teams, we got those alright, and obviously we can't really produce anything else in, research anything else in infantry equipment. We could take paratroop equipment, but for now we're gonna avoid that a little bit. We're gonna take, we could take the Panzer IV-A. We don't have anything in artillery. We could take some air doctrines. Air doctrines are always pretty useful. And we could take HQ communications. HQ communications are a little bit more useful, actually. With delay, we are at 150 days until the end of that land doctrine research. So that means that once we finish autarky, we're not going to have enough time to actually... Oh no, we are going to have enough time to go for 1946 industrial effort. So we're going to take that, and then we're going to go for Wehrmacht, which is going to give us 25% research bonuses for land doctrines. One thing that I really like is that they scaled down the bonuses for research from 50% to 25%, which is really good because I think 50% was a little bit too exploitable as a bonus. So I actually commend the Black Ice team on that. That is a boxing match. I don't really like boxing, so we're not going to care about boxing, unfortunately. Split the air wing in two, and then we've got a ton of Heinkel 51s that are being produced, so that's why there's all these planes in reserve. Soon enough they're going to become useful when the Spanish Civil War happens because, we're just going to lend-lease them. We're going to take the political advisor. We are going to take, where are you? Martin Bormann. He gets 1% factory output, which is, I guess, fine, and 15% political power gain, which is very, very good. As you can see, we've got a pretty heavy amount of political power bonuses, partially because of the SS, partially because of Hitler, partially because of Bormann, partially because of Hess. And so what that is going to mean is that we're going to be able to fill out our research and production teams and improve our laws and government quickly enough so that we're going to be ahead of other nations, which is the reason why I took those. We could go for the special complex, which is going to add a ton of chromium, tungsten, aluminum, etc. But first, we're going to take 1936 industrial effort, so that once delay... Oh, actually, I just realized I may have made a mistake. It should be fine, though. It should be fine. Small arms deal. We've decided to send a small shipment of infantry equipment to Finland. Finland, in my experience, tends to like to join the Allies, but I usually play on historical mode, so they're non-aligned. Seek allies. They are seeking allies, so I wonder who they're gonna go for. Well, how much infantry equipment do we actually have? Yeah, 2,000. We can send that off. And we can send artillery to China? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So we sent 500 infantry equipment to Finland, and unfortunately, again, that does not increase their opinion of us, which is just a shame. Nor does it give them a I don't know, like fascist support. I really don't know. So we have the Panzer II-C, which is going to be good, but nothing too great. And a ton of different researches have just popped. We're going to take the Panzer IV-A, because if we look at what happens down here, this line from the Panzer III-A goes down and gets all the Panzer IIIs, which is handy because of the Panzer IV-E being quite a bit down the research. But then the Panzer III-M and Panzer III-Ns are obviously not quite as valuable as having the Panzer IV-H and then the Panther. So we're going to go for the Panzer IV-A, which is the infantry support tank. We have also grabbed some aircraft research. We could go for the Ju-87A, but for now we're going to wait on that. We're going to go for the strategic bomber, the Dornier... What? Dornier 19? And then we are going to go for... we're already taking the carrier. We could take a naval doctrine. Or... soon enough... Yeah, right, we took concentrated industry, so now we can actually research the truck workshops. Truck workshops, ship workshops, submarine workshops, bomber workshops, artillery workshops, and tank workshops. We don't have those, and we want all of them. Because... the bonuses that they provide are extremely useful. And then we have some available planes in reserve, we don't care. And we have some outdated equipment production. So we're going to improve our tank production to Panzer II-Cs. And we're going to get our light tanks. We're going to get more production of those. Because eventually we're going to have this production run become the production run for the Panzer IVs that we are researching. And also because we want to fill up our armor divisions as quickly as possible. We don't want to run out of armor. And then the other thing that we can produce is something about aircraft, right? Tactical bombers. Tactical bombers, so you. Heinkel 111Bs. As you can see, we are focusing our production of aircraft onto fighters because they're very good. So I think that's going to be it for now for this Black Ice run. And I'm going to join you in the next part tomorrow. Hope you've enjoyed, hope you'll be coming back, and I'll see you soon.